Right behind me is a $200 electric pizza oven capable of hitting almost 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I know it doesn't look like a pizza oven, and that's because, well, it's actually not. If this looks like a pretty basic toaster oven you could buy at Sam's Club for $89.99, well, you're probably right. You're actually definitely right, because I did buy that at Sam's Club for $89.99, so let's just leave that. Okay. Here's the problem. This toaster oven, as well as most conventional ovens, can really only go up to about 500 degrees. In some cases, they can hit about 550. But that's not even close to hot enough to be able to cook a real Neapolitan pizza. That is where Pizza Shelf comes in. Normally these cost around $150, but I managed to get mine on clearance on Amazon for less than $100 because it had this awesome looking hole in the front of the box. Didn't affect the Pizza Shelf one bit, it was literally just the box. The Pizza Shelf is essentially just a pizza stone, but it has a really cool trick. It actually has walls on the side that help reflect the heat that comes down from the broiler and keep it right in the pizza area. This keeps your heat reflected and keeps you at about 900 degrees. I was initially worried it wasn't going to fit, because in classic Sam's Club style, they didn't have any of the internal dimensions at all. Basically just, this is toaster oven. Buy it if you'd like. So I would highly suggest that you're able to fit 13.5 inches by 15 inches inside whatever oven you're using before you decide to go this route. Mine just barely fit, but it did. Fun fact, my face is super red because that oven's been on for like 45 minutes now and my room is a sauna. I'm so done. Let's take a look through the instructions on the Pizza Shelf. They made it a flowchart. I love flowcharts. Alright, let's get it started. Question number 1, where is your broiler? Well, mine is on the inside of the oven, so we're ready for heat flexion. They call it heat flexion. Cool, I guess. Step 1. Place the pizza shelf centered on the top rack of your oven. Cool. Got it. Number 2. Preheat your oven, but not your broiler yet, to its highest bake temperature, usually around 500 or 550. Well, mine's 450, but it does have a toast setting which boosts it up to closer to 500 or 550. But that's fine. Number 3. Turn off your oven for about 2 minutes. I think this is just to test and see if it works. I think they want to make sure your broilers have time to not get red anymore, so the next step will make a little bit more sense. Step number 4, turn on your broiler. Wait 5 minutes and then peek in the oven to see if your broiler is on. Yep, it's a little tough to see with the light, but that broiler definitely is on. Number 5, excellent. That's not instruction, it's just it saying excellent. Oh, there's more underneath. Okay. Number 5, excellent. Now wait a few minutes and peek again. Is it still on? Yeah, it's still on. I think we're ready to go. Next step. Yup, it's on. That's not yet. I don't think they know how this works. Step number, well, I guess it doesn't really have a step. It just says go for it. Alright, fine. Your pizza shelf is hot and ready. I'm just gonna leave that one there. So I actually made a pretty amateur mistake. I completely forgot to actually buy ingredients to make a pizza with. Thankfully, I had some leftover dough and some low moisture, high fat mozzarella that I can make a pretty decent pizza with. It's not perfect, but it'll definitely work. The first big hurdle was getting the pizza into the oven itself. Unfortunately, I didn't have my pizza peel on me, so I had to use a tray that I made the pizza on, which was, let's just say, not graceful. The pizza ended up folding over a little bit because I just couldn't get it out correctly. But once it was in the oven with the door closed, it started to rise really nicely. The cheese melted at a pretty consistent rate with the dough rising, and it ended up making a pretty good looking pizza to watch cook. All in all, it took about 2.5 to 3 minutes to cook. So half of the pizza ended up coming out really well. The other half, I'll get into that later. But for the good half, the crust was really crispy and just a little bit chewy, but not too chewy. The cheese melted evenly and really nicely, and honestly, it just tasted like a pretty good pizza, even with the mediocre ingredients I threw it together with. A day or two later, I was able to pick up some ingredients that I actually liked and made a calzone with it, and it came out really nicely. That was actually the first pizza I've ever made in this system, and I definitely learned a couple things, although overall I'm really happy with how it came out. The first thing I learned was the front really doesn't insulate heat very well. So if you want an evenly cooked pizza, you're going to have to make sure the pizza sits towards the middle of the pizza shelf. There are 2 ways I can think to fix this. The first would be to simply flip the pizza shelf the other direction. That way the back wall helps keep some of that heat in from where it's escaping in the glass. The other method would be just to put some insulation over the window itself. Neither one are perfect, but for a $200 pizza oven, that's really not bad at all. Is it a perfect system? No, not at all. But after hours of Googling, I really haven't been able to find anything that's under $500 that's electric and can actually cook at these temperatures. Most of them are either gas-based or they're really expensive. So for what it is, I'm really happy with how everything came out, and I would highly suggest it to anyone working with either budget restrictions or space restrictions. It's a pretty solid way to make a good pizza for a decent price. Links to everything used in this build will be in the description box below. And if I make any major changes or updates to this build, I'll make sure to detail those changes in the description as well. So if you found this video even remotely useful, feel free to give it a like or a thumbs up or a subscribe or anything you would like, and hopefully I'll see you on my next video.